Most of us are conditioned to believe attraction operates exactly like a financial exchange rate. You bring a specific set of physical or material assets to the table, and if the math checks out, you receive romantic interest in return. This diagram represents the standard attraction equation. You combine looks, fitness, and wealth, expecting a guaranteed return on your investment. But relying exclusively on these quantifiable external metrics usually causes the entire system to crash. When those external traits fail to generate an immediate spark, men tend to panic. The instinctive reaction is to overcompensate. They adopt a loud, fake confidence, they flex harder, and they send rapid-fire texts, hoping to force a connection. To the human brain, these desperate behaviors do not register as confidence or genuine interest. They broadcast acute anxiety and neediness, which instinctively neutralizes any physical appeal and destroys the attraction before it even begins. Lasting attraction operates on a completely different frequency. It happens when you drop an anchor into your psychology. Instead of reacting to the surface chaos, you establish a deep, unshakable internal stillness. Genuine attraction centers on how your psychological grounding physically regulates the emotional state of those around you. The first pillar of this grounding is strict internal self-regulation, which projects a calm energy. When you deliberately slow your speech, delay your reactions to a buzzing phone, and move without urgency, you subconsciously signal that you are inherently safe and in control. This requires you to own your personal awkwardness. When you stop trying to loudly flex your perfection to a room, you completely remove the need for external validation. Look at this diagram mapping emotional regulation. When the outer nodes, representing a partner's stress or emotional overthinking, vibrate frantically, the central node remains completely stable. It refuses to react emotionally and eventually pulls the surrounding network into its steady state. Neurologically, a partner's brain maps this dynamic instantly. When they experience internal chaos and you stay perfectly centered, they register you as their primary, reliable anchor. That internal comfort is highly addictive. You offer a reliable safe harbor from an unpredictable external world. Now, take that self-regulation and apply it to a one-on-one conversation. Forget playing rigid, hard-to-get games, and instead adopt a hard-to-impress but easy-to-enjoy mindset. When you interact with someone who is used to constant attention, refuse to be dazzled. Treating a highly sought-after partner as a normal human rather than a trophy prompts them to drop their rehearsed performance and show genuine authenticity. Pair this with controlled mystery. This means strategically withholding your entire personal history in the first week, rather than disappearing for days or playing immature communication games. By leaving conversational hints and unanswered questions, you force their brain to do the heavy lifting. They have to actively try to fill in the missing pieces of your narrative. This ongoing mental effort to resolve the mystery forces a deeper level of cognitive investment. Over time, the brain rewards this focus with increased dopamine, anchoring a simple curiosity into a lasting emotional attachment. Zooming out, a grounded man builds his life around the purpose-first principle. Your personal mission, your growth, and your direction dictate your choices, placing romance secondary to your own trajectory. This animation contrasts two relationship structures. In Path A, one person makes the other the sole focus of their existence, endlessly orbiting them. But in Path B, there is a clear, forward-moving vector, and the partner actively curves to merge into that slipstream, entering a pre-existing journey. Without that forward momentum, the dynamic collapses back into the closed loop. That endless, aimless orbiting is the exact mechanical definition of neediness. Sustaining this architecture requires a strict behavioral duality. You maintain a disciplined, assertive posture toward the outside world, but reserve high emotional intelligence and protective softness exclusively for private interactions. Holding this structural balance proves to a partner that they are integrating into a thriving, stable ecosystem, rather than taking you on as a rehabilitation project. These behavioral pillars represent structural shifts in your personality. They function as a permanent operating system, rather than a set of temporary scripts used to win an interaction. Genuinely embodying this framework means abandoning the exhausting performance of chasing. You focus entirely on forcing thick roots deep into the ground, remaining completely unbothered regardless of the external weather. The reward for this internal discipline is trading fleeting, superficial attention for lasting mutual respect and undeniable emotional gravity. True emotional attachment from a partner is simply the natural, unavoidable byproduct of becoming a man who no longer needs external validation to feel secure. But building this internal foundation yields zero results if you cannot accurately read the room. You have to know when your grounding is actually working. Next, we need to look at the subtle, commonly missed psychological signs that a partner is already deeply attracted to you.